This is CNN Breaking News.
President Obama is ramping up security worldwide in the wake of the attack in Libya that left a U.S. ambassador dead and 3 of his American colleagues dead as well. U.S. Marines have been deployed to Benghazi, additional Marines, to help secure the U.S. consulate there, the scene of that violence that killed Christopher Stephens and those 3 other staffers. Our Pentagon correspondent Barbara Starr is live with us now. What exactly is happening? And when the president says that we are going to make sure there is justice done, what does that mean?
Well, let's start with the Marines, Ashley. Our latest information is about 50 Marines specially configured as a counterterrorism team coming from Spain, actually going to go first at least to Tripoli, to the capital, to the U.S. Embassy in Tripoli, Libya. They may move around a bit once they get there, but they are going to head to Tripoli, specially configured to reinforce and up security at the U.S. diplomatic installation there. The president talking about upping security for U.S. diplomats around the world. We will have to see what comes next. Diplomatic security is generally handled 3 ways. Of course, there are U.S. Marines that protect many embassies around the world. There is also State Department diplomatic security. They typically provide the personal security for ambassadors and top officials. They also tend to be the ones that do the analysis of any emerging threats in a country. In some cases, third option, there are contractors that are hired to provide security. It remains to be seen exactly what was provided for the ambassador in Benghazi yesterday. We are told U.S. Marines aren't there. So that's the next question. Now what? Justice will be done. Ashley, you know, my colleague Nick Robertson reported back in June that drones were flying over eastern Libya looking at jihadi sites, possible training camps, sites where there were jihadi elements. Never confirmed by the U.S., but Libyan officials were saying it. So we know there's a lot of attention being paid to these jihadi groups. Interesting question. Is the president signaling that something is about to happen there? We'll have to see.
And I'll tell you what, Barbara, a lot of people think right away that you look at Afghanistan, and we left Afghanistan in a vacuum, and look what happened. And when we talk about going in and liberating a country or providing assistance to an opposition, and we argue what the vacuum's going to look like afterwards, isn't that exactly what we're talking about now? What's our presence right there right now militarily?
Well, the U.S. never had boots on the ground, of course, in Libya, Ashley. U.S. troops were not on the ground in Libya. This was done under a NATO operation, of course, multinational airstrikes when Gaddafi began to move against his own people. So this began as a move to try and secure Benghazi from Libyan regime forces and try and secure them from Gaddafi's onslaught. It did move into getting Gaddafi out of power as the rebel forces began to grow. There is no question that at the moment you are beginning to see this rise over the last few months of jihadi groups in Libya, but a vacuum of power. There is a Libyan government in place. There are Libyan security forces. I think everybody agrees they have a long way to go. And what has happened in Libya, what has happened in Cairo, is really a question fundamentally of whether the security forces in those countries can protect and will protect U.S. diplomatic installations.
That is a burning question. Barbara Starr, thank you for that. Back right after this.